Hi guys, this is Breaker, and we are back with another replay that I took from drop.sc. The map we are on today is Klontas, Mire, TE. I believe TE stands for Tournament Edition, at least that's what I've heard. Personally, my own theory is that it probably stands for Test Edition, because like just making a single map and, essentially throwing it into a tournament map pool without any extensive testing, that sounds pretty dangerous, but to each their own. I'm going to go ahead and give both players their introduction. Upper right-hand corner, spawning as our blue Zerg, I give you all Wilshire. Yes, Wilshire. Upper left-hand corner, spawning as our red Zerg, his name is Irv. And I went and took this replay from the front, no, not the front page of drop.sc. I did that with 2 replays earlier today. I actually didn't do, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't find either of these players on the front page of drop.sc. No, in fact, one of them actually uploaded it to the Reddit subsection known as Cast It. And now we're just waiting for the game to develop, essentially. We do have an extractor first coming down for Irv. If you'll pardon me, I actually did not see that because there's a glare on my first monitor right now. Some dust covering it up. The extractors actually come up as pretty dark. Now, Irv is going to go for, it looks like a 14 pool, 13... Excuse me, a 14 extractor, 13 pool. Not the most economically viable build, but it, just the sheer amount of early game aggression that it can lead to, and especially given the the early game mechanics of many Zerg players, it's very difficult for... I want to say the early game mechanics of Diamond League Zerg players and under. It's just so many players can actually be daunted by playing ZVZ, and I'm not quite one of those players, but definitely I'd say it's a possibility for Wilshire. He's going to be on the defensive in the next few minutes. I do need to highlight that both players have their their pool finished, but the biggest difference is we just saw that metabolic boost is beginning for Irv. So while we will have increased production for Wilshire, temporarily, at least for the next 100 seconds, as long as we don't see another hatch coming from Irv, then, I think this could be really bad for Wilshire. It could be potentially bad, especially given that the link speed is going to have a huge window of opportunity to finish for his opponent. All he needs to do is keep his micro really beautiful, and those links will essentially pay for themselves. Yes, even pro gamers. I've seen pro gamers with terrible drone splits. Terrible, I wouldn't say terrible drone splits, but instead terrible drone micro. I want to say that, I played against Scarlet on the ladder once. The only achievement I got in that game was basically killing 5 of her drones with 2 banelings because she didn't split them. Maybe, it was probably, to be fair for her, it was actually early in the game, so, I think... It was, excuse me, did I say early in the game? It was early in the morning, and I also did a rather unorthodox build. I went 12 extractor, 11 pool into 11 baneling nest. I'm like, oh shit, if this is the real Scarlet, I'm gonna have to make this game end quick. And there it is, a huge pack of lings moving out, and it looks like the blue ling tried to get in and get a read on just what we're gonna see from Irv, but it's just not gonna work out. Here we go, Irv throwing down straight up, not Irv, Wilshire throwing up a... wow, just throwing down a defensive baneling nest. Both of these queens coming into a defensive position, they'll be able to block the ramp, no trouble. But ling speed is not going to be finished for a while, and we have a total of 8 lings in production. It's looking like all of them... Oh no. I'm thinking all of these are, yeah, they're all lings. And problem with this is all of the lings out here actually outnumber all of the lings that are out here too. Blue lings. And there we go. They're getting a full surround, kind of, but it's... I don't think this is going to pan out. We're going to see a small window of opportunity. No, we're not, because he canceled the baneling nest. That's actually really bad. Like, I mean, I know it's 150, 100 minerals and 50 gas. We're not going to see Wilshire get back, but holy hell. I think it would be much more worth it if he could just get some banelings out. Simultaneously, we have the natural finishing up just now for Irv. His goal was achieved. He's caused more than enough economic damage to his opponent. I don't know what the big mistake was from Wilshire. Baneling nest now finished for Wilshire. Question is, when's he going to make some defensive banelings? As soon as that is done, that's what needs to be done. And we do have Irv essentially going into heavy droning power right now. Irv does not have any banelings. And in production, we actually see Irv following this up with the Roach Warren. He's trying to keep his opponent off of mutas. And on one base economy, mutas are not viables. And the question is, does he know that his opponent's going to be on 2 base? You know, I mean, he hasn't seen that the hatch has essentially been rebuilt. A bunch of lings being pulled. That was not, I mean, like, only 1 or 2 lings really ran into those banelings naturally. So just look at that. The unit's lost 4. Irv, like, right now, a single baneling, if used correctly, can kill up to, like, 24 lings. So this really just did not favor our player, Wilshire, at all. Alright, and now the Queen's going around, just making sure they got some injects. If we check how many workers there are right now, it's 32 to 37, with a definitive lead by Irv. Spire going down now for Wilshire, but I'm afraid there's just too many, you know, there's just too many roaches out. I'm thinking this just will not be working out for him in the near future. Sorry guys, I should turn on the music. Oh wait, this map has music? What is this? This is a little crazy. I actually don't know what's going on here. Perhaps an error in the map or the interface. I don't know. Alright, so here we go. The roaches are popping. They're going to be on the way to the base of Wilshire pretty soon. But if we don't, you know, there's a small window, I guess, where you could say Wilshire could probably retaliate, but it's not quite going to be there. Once the Spire finishes, we're going to have essentially Wilshire making as many mutas as he can, which will, honestly, it will be a less than sufficient number. I mean, just look, right now we got 500 gas, and only 1 muta in production because it looks like we have our loser approaching a supply block. The supply difference is now 84 to 59. We now have Burrow and Glial Reconstitution in research for Irv. So he's gonna try and go in deep with this muta, or excuse me, not this muta stuff, but this roach stuff. Excellent creep spread again by Irv. You know, I mean, just a lot of players in ZVZ, they seem to forget about this. I mean, it's the one thing that mutas can't actively attack unless they have an overseer, and behind this we have Wilshire taking a third to try and make up for his mistakes earlier. Mutas are flying out over creep, and they've got a huge opportunity to actually supply block Irv, right? Well, not really a huge opportunity because Irv is actually overspent on his overlords. Banelings making excellent connections, but the leftover lings will not be able to really deal any damage out on those roaches. The roaches here, their goal is to essentially force a cancel on this hatch, and the mutas cleverly targeting down the already weakened roaches. It looks like these lings are going to come up and clean it up. These 2 roaches will not be able to take down that hatch. And this is just overall, I want to say, beautiful defense and beautiful move out by Wilshire. 3 queens in the main, however, there's no spore crawlers. So there's actually, I want to say, with the present amount of DPS available, it would be more than viable for, say, Wilshire to actually just go in, pick off a drone and get out. But microing the mutas is also really important. These 2 destroy each other at the same time. Looks like the mutas are going into the main, getting free drone kills now. This is absolutely critical. The third is now in construction for Wilshire as well. I'm just, oh my god, the mutas are getting shot at by the Hydras. Yes, oh boy. And now we have Wilshire essentially trying to supply block his opponent. This map, I want to say, you know, ZVZ mutas, really good idea, I guess. But these Hydras, there's like 3 or 4 of them at a time, and once these mutas start grouping up more and more, they'll have sufficient opportunities to cause more and more supply blocks! That's not good, that's not good! You do not want your mutas attacking Hydras. But at the same time, Wilshire finds a way to make it work, sort of! There's such a huge opportunity for supply blocks here, and now, just, I don't see, you know, Wilshire really taking that opportunity. He's got no upgrades, he's got 5 mutas in production. His third unsaturated is going to fall, and it looks like we have Wilshire opting to take this and call it his third. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, ladies and gentlemen. Irv going back up here with his roaches. And they're going to be shut down. They will be. It's just a fact. It's inevitable. I want to say, whoa, what's with these queens? I don't see their health. I don't see their energy bar soul. Sorry about that. Must have been a mistake on my part. Thoroughly my part. Alright, Hydra is being chased down. It looks like these mutas will have sufficient opportunity to cause supply blocks. Supply blocks. Because supply block was so last year. Beautiful work we see coming from Wilshire, really. He's holding this and he's actually pushing back behind this. I'm wondering what exactly is allowing him to do this. Has his opponent gone AFK? Where's the APM at? Oh no, oh no, no. You don't want to fight. Spore Caller's head on. Holy hell, I never would have thought the new Spore Caller is that effective. Just look at that. Really, I mean, the supply difference is now 26 with Wilshire in favor. He's gonna have a third base. He's already got a third base. And, oh boy! I mean, just look at, oh my god, just 2 shots from a single Spore Crawler can kill a mutant now. It looks like, at least if it's half health mutants that we're talking about. And now Wilshire is just coming in here and he's trying to wreck house as much as he can because Irv is just simply too lazy to pull his overlords back. There's so many opportunities for more damage to take place here. And now Irv is supply blocked to the point that he's going to need 3 overlords to get production even started or rekindled. Single mutant taking care of this single roach down here. It will be dealt with eventually, but you know, it can burrow, I think. Alright, so aside from that, we actually have Wilshire, I want to say, in a pretty okay position behind all of this. If we just check the income right now, both players relatively even. We just need to see Wilshire get that third base, like that fourth base up and mining, along with this third. It seems to be just taking the place as a macro hatch for now. Meanwhile, for Irv in the main, he's got his own macro hatch going. Queens left and right. Just injecting. Alright, well, this is how the game is unfolding, I guess. We've got more and more Hydras in the mix for Irv. I do need to highlight that if we see lots of Banelings from Wilshire, he will have to essentially make very meticulously careful use of them. Right now he's just cranking out mutas, just 6 at a time right now is what's going on. And I'm thinking this could go essentially either way for these players. Like, there's no other way to say it. Alright, so here we go. Double extractors being added on, and finally some static defenses to the third over here. Meanwhile, the third for Irv is just now getting established. Main is about to go dry completely. We're looking at within the next, let's see here, 2 minutes in game time. Spore Crawler wall here, no spine crawlers. This could actually be quite dangerous from Irv. He actually hasn't scouted his opponent's main composition, and there's so much money that he's throwing away right here, just blindly, straight up to Spore Crawlers. I mean, each one of those is 75, not to mention the fact that a drone costs 50. And why on earth do we have Wilshire spreading creep in this? That's one thing I don't quite understand. I mean, it's not ZVT, it's not ZVP, but I mean, I guess it could help, I think, you know, let's think about it. Now, all these lings, all these banelings getting spread around beautifully. I want to say that Wilshire is perhaps one of those guys who's played on the Korean server before, but oh my god, the surround here! Irv just says GG, and he just leaves the game. He knows it's over then. I mean, he's just, think about it. Sure, there's a lot of mutas here. Hell, there's 24. 3 rows of 8, 24, and that's a beautiful surround. No other way to say it, but the leftover units were all Zerglings and Banelings. Just look at it. All these Spore Crawlers as well, they're not going to be able to... I mean, what are Spore Crawlers going to do against Zerglings? Banelings. So, I mean, there we have it. Alright, so if you guys liked what you saw here today, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This is BreAKer. I'll see you guys next time.